So technically, I'm late. Realistically, I'm early. Let me explain. All right, guys, but you're back for Geek Variants. We cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, we're covering X-Men 97. We're going to be covering Star Wars. There's so much good stuff to have covered for each and every single one of you. Appreciate every person who's tuning in. But the reason that you'll think I'm late is if you look at the channel page initially, this said 10:40 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hit that on accident. I had every intention of it being 11:40, but at the same time ended up being, just a little bit different. So we ended up looking, you know, the way it did. So one misclick, change the whole time, makes it perceive that I'm late, but I'm really not. I'm actually 10 minutes early for once, which is, hey, gotta start somewhere. Small victories kind of amount to a lot of good stuff. With how everything has been playing out this past couple weeks of being a geek, holy cow. Let's just be fully blunt and like upfront here. It's been chaotic to be a geek this past week between last week's episode of X-Men 97, between Star Wars The Bad Batch, Fallout dropped a whole show, and Kaiju number 8 got started. And I gotta say, a lot of the shows that dropped last week, emotionally, just draining, just exhausting. Stuff that really straight up sucker punches you each and every way possible, like as the series is getting going. Like um X-Men 97 episode 5, easily the most emotional episode of the season. And that's coming from a perspective where we've had Aurora lose her powers, and she's been, easily one of everyone's favorite X-Men. If there's anyone who dislikes Storm, I hazard to guess to have to tell me why. Because like she is just an Omega level threat. She's super tough. She's so smart. She's well spoken. She handles business accordingly. And she's got so many great character facets and about her that it's like shocking. We had also within that same episode, we had the mutant liberation where Magneto was on trial with the UN, and he has sheds that single solitary tear like a boss, and absolutely is like, "Hey, I'm going to carry on Charles's will." And then after that, I was like, "Yeah, apparently we're supposed to have an emotional episode the week after with the Fire Made Flesh episode 3." Like, sure, it can be perceived as such that Madeline Pryor and the baby and everything like that is going to be super emotional. I mean, is a baby you introduced me to last episode, so I don't have the same impact. I understand where the storyline was going, thanks to people who explained it. Because let's be real here, I'm so new to the X-Men franchise, I still get Bishop and Gambit mixed up. They look nothing alike. They act nothing alike. They are on the same team. They have some of the same goals for the team. But at the end of the day, they look nothing alike. They talk nothing alike. And they handle their business nothing the same way. So that's erroneous on my part. Something that as a geek I gotta get better on. Something I gotta strive to be a little bit stronger with it. It's like when you join a new anime for the first time and you have all the right spirit per se of pushing on your fandom, but at the same time not having the same know-how to make that happen. You definitely just want to be able to carry on things in the correct form, in the correct fashion. And I'm just really excited getting out the gate to be like, hey, here's this information. Let's talk about it. That's why I'm here. I do the live streams because I like talking with you guys, even if it's like going to be a quiet night. So like this entire time is just me talking to me. I'm fine with it. I'm able to get out what I needed to get out, and you guys can watch whenever available because let's be honest here, we're all adults, we're all geeks. We've got long, busy lives. We got tons of stuff going on, tons of people starting new jobs, tons of people getting really back in the workforce. We had everyone's least favorite day of the year happen on Monday, which was tax day. Hopefully, you guys, cleaned house. Some of us otherwise did not clean up nearly so much house in, that department. But hey, personal business is personal business. And then we followed that up with like Motendo Life Death, which turns out to be a part one. No part two the following week. The following week, they're going to hit us sucker punch straight to the face, right to the dome, knocking us out on any and all intensive purposes with everything that just happened in Genosha. Like, I understand where the storyline's going to go. I understand we had the Wild Sentinel roaming free, kicking butt, taking names, destroying tons of people we cared about. But did you have to like go after one of my favorite characters so far from this season? Because like I have been really feeling what Magneto has been putting down verbally. The dude is an excellent orator, and he's been able to back up what his thoughts are with his actions, and he's been able to like sort of bring the team together. I understand that there's a lot of relationship drama, but like if Jean would just act right, these things probably wouldn't be going nearly as badly as you think they are. And no, I'm not going to blame her entirely when Scott has been a whole problem. Scott had episode one to kind of like have his flex as the leader of the X-Men. He shoots this giant unibeam out of the sky to propel himself for a nice, cozy, and soft landing, only for every single episode since episode one for Scott to continue to drop the ball and be like, hey, screw humans, screw society. I don't care. No matter how many times I save you people, you guys hate me. And he means you people with as much intent, disrespect as possible. I understand from like where his perspective would be like, I'm tired of this. I save your guys' lives each and every day. But at the same time, for you to be doing it on a public and national broadcast to be like, hey, I don't like those guys. They don't do anything for me. I save their lives all the time, and this is how you want to air your business? National television? Really? You sure, Scott? Now's the time. Everything's ongoing. You're missing your baby. You and Jean are in an absolutely usual state of just chaos and utter flux. Your girl is literally trying to kiss Wolverine, and even Wolverine's now like tired of Jean's antics. It's like, I don't want to deal with this. Let's just forget this happened. It was just an error in judgment. You had an emotional moment. I'm out. Which, hey, huge for Wolverine. Good respect for him. It's the only thing he's done 5 episodes in. And Wolverine is a cool character. But 5 episodes in, if your only contribution is, hey, I passed up on the girl who I've been trying to get cheat on her significant other and finally got it, but just don't care anymore. Yeah, that's something. Like, I expect a little bit more from you in that department. I expect a little bit more caring, a little bit more action. And then everything we just went through last week, because I am still reeling from episode 5 last week. We had Rogue, who has been handling business like a G, I might add, has 2 men fighting over her. Jean has 2 men fighting over her. Jean is giving it up to any and all willing parties. She's ended up with big crybaby Scott and Wolverine, who's trying to be Mr. Steal Your Girl. Things have not gone well on that front. Both men not huge fans of her and what she's putting down. Things aren't really going all that great. Then you have Rogue over here, who, for all intents and purposes, can only physically touch one of them because Magneto is strong enough to deal with it for a certain period of time. It still affects him in the long run, but at the end of the day, he's not nearly as drained as other mutants would be. Magneto is like, hey, I understand what you're doing. I understand where your heart is. I know you like him. I understand things are going good. Like, let's just talk things out. Let's plan things out. I'll put all my chips on the table. You decide. If you say, hey, I don't want to be involved in this, cool. I'm out. No qualms, no quarries, no other issues here. And then on top of that, we, come back. We have Gambit, whose name I can finally say correctly because I keep getting Gambit and Bishop mixed up. So sorry to true geek fans. I'm relearning the X-Men. They weren't one of the comics I picked up as a kid, but this show has me like hooked. Gambit makes the ultimate move and is talking to her and talking to Rogue. I should be specific here. And he's like, hey, Mon ami, this is where my heart is. This is what's going on. You can make whatever decision you want to. I trust you. I believe in you. Go ahead and make the decision that you think is best for you. If you reject me, cool. I'm your friend. I still love you all the same. I'll support you. I'm not going to, cause a problem. I'm not going to be a whole scene here. I'm not going to be one of those people like Scott who's causing all these rampant outrage moments that are just silly for someone who's supposed to be running around being the actual leader of this team. To me, like, I understand the field general, but I would still take Magneto 10 times over him. Like, 10 out of 10. It's not even I'm debating about having Scott out there. Everything he's touching of late, falling apart. Hot mess, hot garbage, not feeling it. But then Rogue, it's like, hey, some things are thicker than skin. Um, she's kind of having a bit of a moment with him. They're having their breakthrough. And then, of course, the Watcher is making his guest appearance in this episode. And all proverbial things hit the fan. Insert whatever metaphor you want. We hit from 0 to 100. Genosha is basically wiped, not from existence, but like the city's leveled. Bishop is not even here, but we have Gambit making the ultimate sacrifice. We have Magneto making the ultimate sacrifice and then Rogue knocked out of the way with everything that was going on there. Like, this whole thing with mutants has been right now a slow burn. Where they go with this is going to be interesting, because last week they literally just grabbed me by the face and just slap, slap, slap. Was not ready, was not prepared, still reeling from last week. So I got to say, for whatever reason that they, went the way they did with the writing team for X-Men 97, we need to talk about how well it has done. Like, let's just be frank here. It's going strongly enough that they're already considering putting together an X-Men movie universe on the Disney platform and have it put into theaters as well. That we're 5 episodes in. There is literally, considering, see, that was like 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. We have 2.5 hours of content right here as far as X-Men 97 is concerned. But they're already talking about a movie universe. When was the last time you only saw like 2 hours or something? You're like, yeah, this needs to be a movie. Just asking for those in chat. Because, I mean, I have my thoughts, I have my feelings. I think Mandalorian was the only time where I saw 2 hours of something. I'm like, yeah, let's do a movie. But again, I'm a Star Wars fan, so what I wanted is convoluted and messy and not always the same day in and day out. So the toxicity and fandom in me kind of makes that more ambiguous. That being said, we've also been treated to a lot of good stuff involving Star Wars animated universe of late. The Bad Batch has also been ripping and roaring. We'll have that covered as well once we finish X-Men 97. Because look, if you think I'm going to watch episode 5 of X-Men 97 and not watch episode 6 first, you got me all kinds of mixed up. I need to see where we're going from here. I need answers. I need results. I need something. I'm a needy person right now. You can't just have an episode as significantly impactful as last week and not really have something come from it the very next week. I'm not as familiar with the storyline as everyone else is. Will and Tony, the two resident Marvel experts for Geek Variants, will have probably an amazing breakdown of this episode coming tomorrow, but they're the opinions you really want to hear on it. I'm newer to the whole MCU X-Men universe. I'm just very passionate about learning more about new entities, and we at Geek Variants we're not for gatekeeping. We're not for keeping people out. You want to learn about something, we'll tell you about it and let you form your own opinion from there. We all don't have to agree. For some reason, Will doesn't even believe the Lord of the Rings is an amazing universe, which, by the way, greatest movie trilogy of all time. Stand on business on that. Will not die on any other hill other than that particular one. That being said, also, I don't truly believe that the early iteration of the not the early iteration, the second iteration of the X-Men was good whatsoever. I understand you had a decent cast, but everything else about it was hot garbage. It wasn't like the beginning where we had, literally my Gandalf, Ian McKellen, cast as Magneto, and he was out here delivering lines, slaying stories. Charles Xavier was perfectly cast. Like, We had Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Like things were going in really, really good places. I think casting could have been better in a couple areas. Like I'm not really sure I was feeling the whole Halle Berry as Storm, but again, Halle Berry in movies for superheroes, I would not say are her strongest standpoints. She's a good actress, but I don't think she was necessarily right for that role. But at the same time, I don't know where else I would have pivoted to at that moment in time. You know what I'm saying? And then coming back to Star Wars, because we got 14 more minutes and we still have 3 more geek topics I want to talk about before we get into the official show. Look, Star Wars Bad Batch. Why are you guys putting me in this emotional chokehold as well? Like, basically doing these back to backs is like trying to enforce the worst kind of damage emotionally as you can. Like, we just had Genosha get wiped out, so I was looking for something happy, something feel good, something go lucky. Instead, we had what we had with the Omega being trapped in this terrible, terrible situation. She couldn't really. They were kind of showing her a bit more behind the scenes that she's like a bonding agent. She's able, her blood, because of the M count, is able to make Project Necromancer even viable, even possible, push for things in a better and more constructive outlook. And we'd be able to go ahead and get so many more things accomplished for Imperial. But again, it's a terrible project. It's something we do not want to have pushed forward. And we have, Clone Force 99, the Bad Batch, fighting tooth and nail to ensure that they're able to acquire the former leader of the Imperials who were leading the direct attack on their homeworld of Camino, Tapoca City to be specific, and take out like what they had ongoing and eliminate them and their brothers. And now they have to save this guy who, for all intents and purposes, is slimy. He's backstabbing, he's conniving, he's over the top. He doesn't know how to handle things in an appropriate manner that normal people would, because he's been blessed with this imperial lifestyle for so long. And even after, being in prison for a while, them liberating him, he still continues to act a bit grimy. And he's tried to backstab and manipulate everybody and put people into situations that they just shouldn't be in for all intents and purposes. And it just makes you question the validity of what exactly he stands for, whether it's more about personal gain or imperial domination, or he's just somebody who's naturally a more evil and vindictive human, which, it's tough to say, but sometimes they're just human individuals that they strive for this sort of thing. They always tend to be a little bit more villainous than others. And it's like, you could question them about it directly, like, hey, why are you doing this? And they just be like, I just felt this was right. This is what I do. This is how I handle business. And you just be looking at them, big eyebrows or big eyes, not big eyebrows. I have big eyebrows, but just big eye. Just why? Of all the things you could have done, why in the world would you have made this your topic choice? Why would you have made this your action? Why would this have been your plan? And to have to rely upon him to go ahead and get Omega out, things are going to get really, really interesting these upcoming week here, as we've got, I think, 3 or 4 more episodes of Bad Batch ongoing, which, hey, don't get me wrong, I love everything Bad Batch. I love that we're getting tons more information about what we have ongoing here. But at the same time, we need to see just exactly where they're planning on going with things. And right now I'm just checking the episode count, see how many more we have. Just want to make sure I'm giving accurate information here. Because how many Star Wars Bad Batch episode release for season 3? Want to make sure we got because right now we have that coming out. How many episodes will there be? Yeah, okay. So we have only 1 episode this week. We got 2 more after that. So yeah, we got at least 3 more weeks of Star Wars The Bad Batch. And then on top of that, last week Fallout dropped. Who in chat watched Fallout? Because me and Will were riveted. I got pulled away like 6 episodes in, because I needed to go handle something of a personal nature. But at the same time, Fallout was the single greatest video game to TV show adaptation we've had, period. There's no if, and, buts, or qualms about it. It spanked everything that I believed or perceived about this series. I played 10 hours of the Fallout games. I'm gonna be absolutely upfront on that. And then I put it down and I started playing other stuff. I love Bethesda. I play Elder Scrolls as often as I can, and I enjoy, Skyrim. And I've rebought Skyrim, I want to say 4 or 5 times, like most standard geeks have. I got it for PS3, got it for PS4, got it for PS5, and then PS5 Deluxe Edition. So it's like I've given them my money time and time and time again, and I love their lore. I love the content that they made. The fact that the show, though, was as freaking good as it was not ready. Was not ready whatsoever. It was such a faithful and well done and interesting adaptation of it. I'm already like, where's season two? Where's my answers? Where's the story going? How are we going to move Lucy on forward? How is the ghoul going to be an interesting player in this? How's the Brotherhood going to take part and everything else ongoing? And if you notice, I'm being very light on spoilers, but I'm just saying that the pivotal characters in this were so unique, so interesting. When we had voice acting, it was well done. It had good meaning. It was not just a throwaway, funny, here's a joke, laugh at it, please, and then let's move on. Everything had meaning, everything had significance, everything had relevance, and they were able ultimately to impart a lot of great information to us in such a exciting and unique storytelling narrative perspective. I haven't been that enthralled in a show in a long time. I think the last time where a show really gripped me this way and pushed me to like really think about things and be like, okay, cool. So I know where XYZ character is, but how are they going to move this part of the plot along? And we have a full breakdown of the Fallout season 1 on the YouTube. It's there. If you're subscribed, you'll be able to find it. It's one of our newer videos because we recorded it, I want to say, like the day after. We finished season 1 within 24 hours. It was too good not to be finished. We'll finish that night on a live stream. And for everyone who watched that live stream with us, thank you. We appreciate it. We understand live streams can be interesting because we say watch party or double watch party in some cases. Like this is a Disney double day. There's no actual screen showing Disney on here anywhere. We do not break those laws. We don't go through copyright issues. We don't go through showing someone else's information, someone else's IP, someone else's property. We respect everyone's intellectual properties, and we'll have the episode playing off screen. We'll watch it. We'll talk about it with you, the viewer, because some people like watching shows together, learning together. That's what we Geek Variants really, really, truly enjoy. And speaking of watch party, on Friday, Rebel Moon Part 2. We understand where Rebel Moon Part 1 finished. Truly do. We ripped it up, down, left, right, center, to shreds in everything. Could not have been less excited about a movie that came out based upon something that they were saying was going to be like the next Star Wars. It wasn't even what Dune's original movies were, or Dune's original TV show was, which for all intents and purposes, Dune's TV show was good, and the latest Dune movies have been really good. So hats off to them on that. But it was, for all intents and purposes, Rebel Moon was not that good. Not that good. That being said, we told you guys we would cover not episode 2, movie number 2. We're going to have a watch party Friday for when that drops, and we'll have that covered, and we'll hang out, we'll talk shop, we'll have the movie playing off the screen per usual standard practices, and we'll just, talk to the geeks. It'll be probably on Twitch and YouTube per usual. Those are 2 primary streaming services that we got for you guys. We want to make sure whichever preferred platform you have, you can take part and just, enjoy being a geek where you want to be a geek. It's not like, hey, you need to be subscribed for this, you need to follow for that. It makes it easier, truthfully, for you to follow along and keep up with where the good content is. But at the same time, you don't have to always be. There's so many great content creators out there. There's so many good places to get excellent sources of information, or people who are just lore heavy, people who can give you walkthroughs, people who give you strategy guides, whatever case may be. There's a lot of great stuff out there. Go explore it. Go enjoy it. we would just love if you be part of the Geek Variants community and help us grow and help us learn from our mistakes, help us get better, so we can continue to be one of the great places to talk all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. Because there's a lot of content within that umbrella there to talk to you guys about that we want to be as close to experts as we can be, and what we're not experts on, we'll get better at. Just like with anime, things are going to continue to get better moving out from here. I understand Solo Leveling finished and it was fantastic. Kaiju number 8, I think that was a solid first episode. I think they covered what they needed to. It was a solid first episode. They put the pieces on the table for what to expect. It's going to be more along Chainsaw Man style humor, but at the same time, a little less gory. An emphasis on a little, because it's up there. It's not something be like, hey, show your kids this. Hey, show young adults this. But at the same time, I'd be like, hey, if you got a teenager who's like older than 15 who understands basic concepts like the world and that there's bad jobs out there and there's gore and there's going to be poop jokes and all that stuff, Kaiju number 8 is right within your realm of things to talk about, things to look at, things to understand, and things to enjoy. And on Saturdays, we'll have that covered for you. I was a little late on the premiere episode. I fell to the usual slight of trusting the internet for all sources of information, as opposed to doing my own independent and thorough, emphasis on thorough, research. Saying people were like, yeah, if you missed the live stream premiere, you can't watch the episode. Let's downvote the anime and give it a 1-star review, because we didn't figure out that once the live stream finished, they automatically will download it, and that takes just a little bit of time if you've downloaded anything of a decent size to get it re-uploaded. So there was a good gap there that by the time they had gotten the actual show up, all the fans were like, oh, we 1-star bombed this for nothing, because the episode of itself was quite good. It was it kept you on the edge of your seat for a little bit, but it wasn't too over the top. And we got our big moment where Kafka had the kaiju that was just floating above his bed. It was like, hey, found you. And he's just like, what in the ever-loving hell is going on here? Monster deep dives directly into his mouth. And then next thing you know, the first transformation for Kafka happens. And next thing you know, he is a kaiju number 8. And I think it's going to be a very exciting series for those who haven't read the anime. But luckily for you guys, so I don't give up terrible information, I have read the anime. I have read it. I keep referencing book 3 because it's the one I keep forgetting to put back up on the shelf. So I'm very, very excited to see where that series goes. X-Men 97, though, right now I got to say is the banger show to be at, because I already finished Fallout. We're done with Fallout. It was immaculate. It was spectacular. It was the best video game adaptation for a TV show ever. I will stand on business with that as my personal opinion. You guys are obviously entitled to yours, but I know exactly what field I'm in. But at the same token, X-Men 97, as far as animated shows, it's up there. Like when it was running the same time as Invincible, we as geeks were just eating good. It's like if you're subscribed to the channel, it was just content after content after content after content. We had tons of good stuff. So the shows itself, because they're such bangers, made our jobs as geeks and geek content, coverers for, content creation so much easier. It's so much more fun covering a show that's new and good and fresh and exciting, as opposed to trying to cover, a show that you're like, I don't really understand their vision. I don't understand where they're going with this. I don't like dumping on shows. I think the only thing that unilaterally, as a content creator, the only thing I've ever dumped on wholly and universally was Marvel's The Avengers, the video game. Dumped on that hard for so many number of reasons. And then the only other show, / movie that we've dumped on ever was Rebel Moon. And we'll be covering part 2 on Friday. But the first one we had unbridled disdain for. And right now, it looks like the episode just dropped. So I'm going to be really excited here. Life Death Part 2. I was wondering when we got, the Part 2 for that. And it's all going to be all about our girl Storm. I'm going to drop in chat that we are getting started. So X-Men is getting started. And if you're new in here, we don't play the episode along like within the my main screen here, so you'll have to pull it up on your side as well. We don't want to get copyright strikes. We want to respect all the artists and the individual platforms. That is, in fact, that we'll have a watch party Friday for Royal Moon Part 2 as well as this. Let's get this X-Men going. They had me in a chokehold last week. I need to see where we're going with this. I'm skipping the recap, but I'm not going to skip the intro. The intro is a banger, so let's just give it its all due respect. I don't think I can go back through another um, heartbreaking moment like I did with the recap. So it's going to put me in therapy, I swear. Which not bad. Therapy is good for everybody. My personal opinion. Mm-mm. Jubilee. They're still showing Nightcrawler, which is a nice touch. This week we have a more thorough recap on Cable. He doesn't get a little name thing, but I mean, he's up there. There's a lot of new animations as well, so we're gonna see where things are going. A little bit of callback to the old episodes. That was Charles standing up. We're going places this week. Am I gonna be hurt again, guys? Am I gonna be hurt again? Are we gonna suffer together collectively? Okay, wow. This is more my style, giant space battles. I can feel it. I can rock with it. That's Deathbird. Deadbird? And that's Ronan the Accuser. All right. Huh. Where are we going with this? Because they released this little clip earlier on in the week. Oh, mellow. Nice little hole in your ship there. Hey, look at all the new friends he made. Those are some big names they're just dropping like it's nobody's, business right here. The Kree don't. What was that? It's like Ronan's. He's having a really bad day right now. Because Gladiator is a huge name. He is strong. We got a lot going on here. Mm, hmm. Nope. Ow. Got a heel in the face. God dang. What's, mm. That's Charles? Mm. Yo, all the characters in this. Tony's gonna have another field day. Uh, what are we doing here? What's the move? New emperor. Wow, let's talk about a promotion from nobody to, you know, yeah, he's walking. My God, he just got a bit of promotion on that world. Just a bit of a solid one there. That's something. Is that a horse? It's a horse person. Hmm. Very interesting. That's pretty. Also, I'm looking for the watcher and everything now. I don't trust anything anymore. I mean, he deserves a break after everything he's done. Right now, his proverbial family is just taking L's. They have a very interesting connection. I mean, at a certain point, these X Men need to stand on their own, and we're going through this nightmare here. Yeah, I'm not sure if trying to break Storm is like the move here. She's mentally one of the strongest individuals there is. Like, she's not gonna just straight up back down just because you're mean for a little bit. You're not gonna disrespect Storm like this. That was just a low blow. Oh, there we go. She doesn't fear death, she just fears asphyxiation. Okay, okay. Come on, Storm, hang in there. Well, He got back up very fast. Some Doctor Strange style magic here. So huge props there to Forge. And he definitely just saved Storm. She was failing there. I mean, yeah. Oh, hey. Storm's just throwing it down out here. Meanwhile, we got this happy-go-lucky wedding thing here where Charles is pretending to be Abel. You may do what now? What kind of kinks y'all got? The gladiator just hanging out with them. Mm. The silver-tongued advisor. There's always one guy. Deathbird. Great. The Milky Way is a third world galaxy, everybody. Congrats. We're doing great out here. Walk on your own two legs without the suit. That's the challenge. Be that guy. Dang. Talk about making an entrance, causing havoc, and leaving. So props to Deathbird. This is definitely not a small cameo. Yeah, Magneto's that dude. He's in a no-win situation. But at the same time, it's not like the X-Men are gonna find him where he's currently at. So let's go with the wipe. He'll be a king. He has a true love. He's walking. What about Earth? I'm just saying, if I'm Charles. Bye, everybody. The adversary is verbally sharp, but I can't wait till she gets her powers back. It's happening. There's no way they're not. She deserves it. She deserves to have all of her gifts. Oh, well, I guess she's gonna have to truly face the adversary. Something's gonna go haywire from this. I'm just calling that now. Don't hesitate. Come on, finish it up. Deathbird was waiting. There's a lot of shots here at Earth right now. I'm not feeling them. Not feeling them right now. Why are the mutants catching L's? They basically be the premier version of Earthlings. Like, would you rather be human or a mutant? I'd rather be a mutant. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a precaution for war that everyone's looking for. Yeah, Gladiator's gonna he's gonna mop the floor with people. And all this because Charles hesitated. Gladiator, hello, sir, go the other way. There we go, Charles. Really? To create a classroom? Really? That's goofy as all hell. Again, Magneto, you were putting up with this for how long? Like, if you have the power of mental telepathy on almost an unparalleled scale, and yes, I know there's a lot more, but I'm just going to say unparalleled for the purpose of argument. This is what you decide is the the appropriate form of action. The adversary is doing a heck of a job right now. The brave thing to do would be just to drop down and just trust in your courage in this moment, which is not easy. A lot easier said than done. A lot easier. But she's Storm, the goddess of storms, and one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts, if not Mother Nature herself. So don't don't sleep on her. Open those eyes and have them be white. Let's go. Omega level threat detected. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Imagine you're just on a hike and you see this, be like, gonna go somewhere else. You can see it from space, and they're giving her a montage. I feel it. They're giving her all the respect she deserves. Yeah, she's back. She's back in a big way. Storm literally healed herself. Independent woman, just a little bit. You just shoved an apple in her mouth? She didn't raise her hand. I want demerits there. This isn't a fair classroom. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, hello. Oh dear. Something went wrong. I mean, I don't agree with Charles here, but I mean, I mean, with Magneto gun, I mean, I guess. Shoot, how much more we got left? Hmm. Oh dear. Oh dear. So Sinister returns. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. No, nothing in the post credits, but a banger of an episode, top to bottom. Storm back in the fold, stronger than ever, new look, back to a mega level threat. Fantastic. Could not be happier for her. She deserves it. They did her so much justice. So everyone who felt like they were disrespecting her in the first two episodes, you can come back, you can come correct, really get things back into a proper perspective. So let's get that resettled here. We had Charles and his rampant love affair. We had cameos from Gladiator. We have Deathbird from Ronan the Accuser. Like, that's just to name a few people who have repopulated into the scene. Very excited that they were able to get that ongoing. That being said, I still think this was, I want to say, a top three episode of this season thus far. It was good, but not phenomenal. I still love all the cameos we got here, all the action we were slowly able to acquire, and able to just see where we're going to go with things. I'm going to switch gears here. We're going to put back up everything concerning, Star Wars The Bad Batch. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to type in the chat here. Episode starting episode 13 now. Episode 13. Loved what we had from X-Men. Another phenomenal episode. If you guys finish it, leave your thoughts in the chat below. I will answer them as this episode is ongoing. This Bad Batch is not as mentally intensive for me as it is as X-Men is. Because X-Men, not as familiar universe, Bad Batch, I can kind of theory craft and storytell with the best of them to get things into perspective fairly quickly. And again, if you're new to the channel, enjoying the live stream, hey, subscribe button's there, follows there. If you're on Twitch, whichever one you prefer. We just like to cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. And we have shorts for you guys daily to enjoy and just kind of laugh at because we don't take ourselves too seriously here and we don't gatekeep in any number of forms and or fashion. So, you know, want to make sure things stay light, things stay fun. You, the geeks, enjoy what you got going on. Going right back. I like it. Into the start off with our girl Omega. About to be blood drawn again for any number of things. All the other kids are going through terrible, terrible situation. Like just being a child experiment, just heinous, heinous operations going on here. But she's slowly figuring out their routines, their formulas, how they go about things. So the Empire is going to pay once she's able to harness or at least figure out what's going on here. She's got her former doll. The games are basically how they're keeping their minds sharp so the midichlorians stay active and they can move things forward in that form and fashion. Oh, the green kid's back. That's good. Oh, that kid's taking care of another kid. That's so tragic. He learned his lesson, unfortunately. What do you mean you'll get used to it? This is hell. Hmm. This is a whole ass nope for me. Bespin? Is that where we're at now? And I'm not going to summon Cat. Asajj is an option, and Fennec is an option as far as bounty hunters. Worst case scenario, Boba. Oh, there's Echo. I don't think they care. Yeah, best chance of finding Omega easily. It's not really up for debate there. Someone's got to help them find her. So you have to go basically the heart of the Empire to make this happen. Yes. No one trusts anything you say. But that station's where Cat Bane did his deal, so we know it's decent information at the very least to start. Yeah, Trench is gonna be in for is it Trench? I hate clothes. Yeah, you wiped out their homeworld. They're not fond of you either. Like you trying to become best friends with your bully over the fact they're kicking the crud out of you. That's not how that works, usually. So this is gonna be one hell of a play. One hell of a play here. Omega's gonna keep asking questions. Hmm. Well looked after. Yeah, we're just guinea pigs for science. Life as a child is great. Can't believe that for a second. I'm gonna steal one of her tools, help slowly build up some kind of munition store. And she's gotten a lot better at the whole sleight of hand thing. Yeah, wonder when that's gonna come in handy. Chekhov's gun. If you see the gun in Act One, by Act Three, it must go off. At least they seem to be making friends with each other, but like it's still a heinous process. That chick has got promotion plans on her mind. Typical Imperial. We're gonna. It's like the bad coworker who just rats you out so they can get promoted. That's her game plan. Omega's slowly learning the ins and outs of how to get out, not realizing getting out will be worse for her than everyone else. Um, they've broken their spirit already. Omega, I don't think they're getting out, man. I understand hope is good, but like it's not a, it's not going to go well for everybody. They need way better distraction. I mean, she's starting her little rebel insurgents, but like, let's remember here, this is the final season. Have you seen any of the Bad Batch pop up in any other Star Wars IP? No. Yeah, Trench Rampart. Apologies. Coruscant is a Beautiful design for a world. I was gonna say that. Rampart's already jumped right back into Imperial character. He ready. He never left. He was born to be an Imperial. Spineless coward that he is. You'll remember him and smile at the moment. Why do we always put our biggest, toughest guy on the ship to just stay there and be a communication guy? He doesn't even speak English well. Hit him with a, I know somebody bigger than you. He literally just hit him with that persuasion 100. He's got he's got the how you say the je ne sais quoi, a certain show de vie. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to speak French like I know it. I have no idea what I said. Not a remote clue. But also like an imperial captain with a interesting group of clones like this, you guys would stand out big time. Crosshair's helmet is still easily one of the coolest ones. If I was going to buy a Star Wars helmet, I'm starting with that. Him or Django's fit. He's just like, get out. I said get out. Here's the rule book. Please leave. But also, who's got that many bylaws? There we go. I'm sure that room should be on camera, so you guys are on a timer now. Luckily, we have Echo with his, robo arm. Are you playing a game right now? Right this way. I love how they always go for the. He's just sleeping. He doesn't have permanent brain damage, but it's fine. Come on, Echo. There you go. On a boy. Oh yeah, sail the ship. Take the ship. That's a suicide stealth mission. Crosshair is the perfect bully for Rampart, and it's working right now. But also, Rampart is also snaky, so all he has to do is leave this room, start causing a fuss, and the mission goes up in flames. I mean, do you want to die here in your Imperial garb, or do you want to die as a slave miner? Like, there was an internment camp you were at. Like, there's different issues to arise. Deal with. That blue hair, that blue colored girl is like super nice for that baby. So at least someone's looking after it. It's a heartbreaking mission, whole episode, I should say. She's already being watched. It's already too late. This is too risky. I actually wouldn't put like a sensor in that. To me, find very interesting. They need someone to stop that Imperial lady like yesterday. Omega, stop being sloppy. I would definitely go ahead and put back up my imaginary wall. And she's just sitting there. Yep. Dr. Sculder. She just wanted to be alone for a little bit. I don't know how you got everything back up though, so seamlessly. Like why this room doesn't have a mic in it. Like just seems like a rather large oversight for the Imperials. But again, the large oversights are how the rebels won everything. Because like there was an exhaust port on the Death Star the first time. The second time there was that you had to get to the dead center of the actual base to make it happen. So it's like the second one wasn't an oversight. It was just it wasn't fully finished, and that was part of the Emperor's design for drawing out the rebels to wipe them out. Yeah, I'd probably sneak aboard those. Food for thought. That was cool. You got to time this absolutely perfectly. He is looking for you. Like, what are you doing, Trooper? You need someone to be like, what's going on here? He's gonna have to take the entire ship, so that's gonna be where our problems tend to arise. Mm-mm. Wrecker's already got a whole new look. Like you need to go ahead and get those sensors disabled yesterday. Things gonna be taking a turn here very, very shortly. It's scheduled droid activity. You know, gotta believe in your brothers, guys. Believe in your brothers. Even if things are taking a minute. But is Echo going to die for this? Probably. Mm. It's gonna be like a matter of milliseconds. Nope. It's always amazing that they don't have more technology to sense this kind of stuff. Ooh. Yeah, by the millisecond. By the millisecond. And that's where we're gonna leave off the episode. The next ones are gonna be emotional as hell. I can already feel it. I can just, you can sense that energy and where things are going to be going, just what exactly they're up to. But again, it seems like the rebellion has been entirely built off of happenstance, circumstance, good luck, just being able to luck your way into certain situations or have just the right pieces fall in just the right way at just the right time. So we're definitely going to have a lot of interesting circumstances, a lot of interesting pieces fall into place here. I'm excited to get into this full breakdown. I'm going to end the live stream here in a second. Thank you for everyone who's watched, even though it's been a silent chat tonight. So appreciate everyone who's been watching. I understand it's late night wherever you're at. If it's East Coast, I know it's all about 4 a.m. Here it's about to be close to 1 a.m. I got a full video recap to make, thumbnail, all that good stuff. And then I still be getting up at 6 in the morning for my regular standard job. But I just wanted to spend some time with you guys, the geeks, before we got too far into a lot of stuff ongoing here. So thank you guys for each and every one of you who turned out. Thanks each one of you hit that lovely red subscribe button or the follow button on Twitch. Appreciate y'all. Love hanging out with you guys, getting to know each a little bit more about the Geek Variants as this community continues to grow. Without you guys, this would not be possible. I will see you guys in the next one. May the force be with you always. And thank God, Storm is back to show us all what an Omega level mutant really is. Thank you.